We're gonna start this project with large brush. We're gonna make a straight line in the middle and we're gonna paint everything above the straight line. Next, we'll use medium-sized brush and purple paint to paint mountains. After completing outline, you can paint it in. Now we can use large brush and light green paint to paint the rest of the artwork. Next, we'll be using medium-sized brush to paint outline of the llama. We're gonna start with oval in the middle of the artwork, then we're gonna create outline for the saddle, for neck, and for two legs, one in the front and one in the back. Now we can paint everything in except the saddle. We're gonna add a small tail in the back. Next, we'll be using light brown paint to add two more legs, one in the front and one in the back. We'll be using the same paint to outline and paint in the face. We're gonna use small brush to paint two ears. The first ear we'll paint in, the second one we'll leave with just outline. Next, we'll be using medium-sized brush and bright pink to paint couple lines on the saddle. We'll use small brush to paint in one of the ears and to add small circle on the face. Now we can use medium-sized brush and brown paint to add hooves. Now we'll be adding cactuses with dark green paint. You can use small brush and dark green paint to add smaller cactuses next to the big one. Now we're gonna use black paint and the tip of the small brush to paint an eye, a nose and a smile on the llama's face. Now we'll use medium-sized brush and yellow paint to add another line between two pink lines on the saddle. You can use light blue paint to add another line. Make sure you clean your brush before the next step, because we'll be using white to paint fur on the llama. We'll be using small brush strokes on top of the beige parts of the llama. Next, I'm gonna use beige paint to cover light brown parts of the llama. Since I covered some parts of the ears with white, I'm gonna go back and add more paint. For the next step, you can use medium-sized brush or small brush to add lines to your cactuses. Next, we'll use tip of the small brush and purple paint to add couple thin lines on the neck. Using purple paint and small brush, we'll start adding decorative elements to the saddle and also pompons on top of those thin lines. Now we'll be adding zigzag pattern to the saddle on top of the yellow line. Next, we'll be using pink to add small dots on blue part of the saddle and add small brush strokes around the saddle. We'll be adding more pink circles next to the purple ones on the neck. Now we'll be using blue to do the same thing as we did with purple and pink. We'll be adding more circles, we'll be adding more brush strokes next to the saddle, and we'll use blue to add more zigzag lines. Now we'll be using yellow to decorate our saddle and to add more circles on the neck. We'll be using yellow to add flower petals on the foreground. Now we'll be using dark green and thin brush to add stem and couple leaves for each flower. Now, using just the tip of your brush and white paint, you'll add thin lines on each cactus. We'll be adding bright pink flower on top of each cactus. You could also add second layer of pink where it's needed. You can continue using different colors to add more zigzag lines and dots on the saddle. I'm also adding second layer of purple where the paint seems too transparent. You can also use dark brown to add details to the hooves. Next, you can use small brush and black paint to add a line under each hoof. Now we can add a couple more brush strokes on top of the white part of the llama using medium-sized brush and white paint. To paint clouds in the sky, we'll be using white paint and medium or small brush. We'll start with a straight line and then we'll add a large circle on top in the middle and then smaller circles on the sides. Our final step will be to sign your name in the corner.